My name is Nicholas Weirath. I'm a second-year medicinal chemistry graduate student. I went to a small liberal arts college in southern Alabama where I got my bachelor's degree in biochemistry. I did a few summer research programs, doing a little bit of everything from organic synthesis to cell and molecular biology before applying to the program here at the University of Minnesota. I rotated in a few different labs within the medicinal chemistry department, looking at everything from computational chemistry to synthesis and cell and molecular biology work before finally deciding to join the Tretyakova lab. So within the Tretyakova lab, I work within the epigenetics group, primarily looking at DNA methylation, looking at methylcytosine. And I'm particularly interested in one protein called 1011 translocation enzyme, or TET. And what we're interested in is whether or not TET is an oncogene or if it's actually helping prevent cancer. So the idea is by modulating TET up or down, hopefully we can try and figure out exactly what it's doing in a tumorigenic environment. The TET project and the epigenetics group as a whole is really important to me because epigenetics really hasn't been played out too much, except for the last maybe 15, 20 years. We're just now realizing how much is going on beneath the genome itself. So there's a lot of things happening in the background, and every day there's new research coming out showing that epigenetics has a different link in a multitude of different diseases, everything from cancer to psychiatric disorders. So for me, this project is really a good chance to delve into that and try to discover what exactly is happening beneath the surface, hopefully get a more comprehensive idea of cancer pathology. I've only been here for a year, but so far I've had my fair share of challenges. Every time you start a new protocol or learn something new, there always seems to be something that comes up. Somebody might have done it 10 times before, but the second you put your hands on it, something just goes wrong. There's never any idea why that's happening. Every time I learn a new protocol, there's always some troubleshooting, but everybody in the lab is usually super helpful, and it's always good collaborative time for everybody to come together and realize, okay, well, what are you doing differently? Where might things be going wrong? We got a new set of antibodies in a few months ago, and I was trying to work with those, doing a Western blot. It just wasn't working for whatever reason. And another lab member said, oh, well, try using a different blocking buffer, something that, different than what I had always done in my past experience, and that ended up working. So always little things, and sometimes they're bigger things, but we always come to a resolution on them. The University of Minnesota has a very collaborative research environment, especially within the Department of Medicinal Chemistry. The department as a whole, the field is really founded on collaboration. We wouldn't exist if it wasn't for a multi-collaborative effort. Everything from organic synthesis to cell culture and enzymology, everything we do really depends on the pillars of all of the other fields. And if we didn't have that, we wouldn't really be here as a field. We have a synthesis team, we have an epigenetics team. All of us are pretty well versed in bioanalytical mass spectrometry. We really have to pool on one another and everybody's strengths to really make all of our projects come together. No given project really stands alone. I moved here from southern Alabama, not a super small town, but relatively small compared to the Twin Cities, and just the difference in the culture and being able to sell my car and rely on public transportation, just some of the little things like that have really made it wonderful, and I honestly don't think I could have made a better decision in where I wanted to come for graduate school. Dr. Tretyakova has been so supportive from the very beginning. I remember even during recruitment weekend, I didn't get a chance to have a formal interview with her before I decided to come here. But when we were out for the evening outing, she pulled me aside and she said, hey, I noticed, on your application you were interested in some things that I do. I talked to some of the other faculty members that you did have a chance to interview with, and we were really able to create a nice open dialogue just from the very beginning before I even knew I wanted to come here. And ever since then, her door's always open. I've really been able to just, if I have a question or I have an idea, it's really easy for me to just take it to her, bounce it off and say, hey, this is something I want to do or something I want to explore. Do you think we can make this happen? And so far, we've always been able to make something happen. So really has fostered an environment of growth and exploration, which is absolutely wonderful as a graduate student. So the University of Minnesota is a very connected institution. Just within our lab, people don't have issues finding jobs afterwards. We have so many connections, even within the Department of Medicinal Chemistry. And if we look at the ITDD, a lot of the people running the different divisions within there, they come from industry, and so they know the connections to make. They know what steps we need to be taking as graduate students to get to that next step in our career, whether it be working for a biotech startup, working for big pharma, or going, even staying in academia and becoming a PI. Everybody is just very supportive and makes it really easy to talk about what we want to do, and making sure that we get set on the right path to do that. To prospective students who want to join the Tretyakova group, I say if you don't think your interests necessarily line up with everything that we do, don't let that be a deterrent. You'd be surprised how much interplay there is between the different fields and interests. When I came in, I didn't necessarily know exactly what I wanted to do. I was pretty torn between, do I want to keep doing synthesis? Do I want to continue working on epigenetics like I had in the past? Or do I want to try something entirely different? And given the lab is so interdisciplinary, there are so many opportunities to kind of explore and maybe try something new. If you would have asked undergrad me if I was going to become a bioanalytical mass spectrometrist, I would have laughed in my face. But here I am now running HPLC and mass spec almost every week. So don't be afraid to branch out and see where things take you.